So one of the things I remember about Marilyn was when she graduated from high school, and she was the valedictorian. So she had to work really, really hard, 4.0. She got to give the graduation speech. So I was a little envious because I was only the salutatorian for Bury High School. So a few years later, here comes Marilyn taking the whole enchilada. But anyway, she did a great job, and the folks were really proud of her. And I remember getting close and taking a picture of her speech. And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Marilyn, and I kind of share that.
We remember lots of tears as she was working on
English papers, or what I remember. Yeah.
So she could keep those straight A's. And Dad telling her she could do it.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. My first memory of Marilyn was when I was dating Wayne, and then he went away to medical school, and I was a single school teacher in Burley. Merry Christmas, Marilyn, by the way. And I went over and picked her up. She was in probably junior high school, and we went over to the Burley Theater and watched You Light Up My Life together. It was a girl date that we did together, and that was a fun memory. Also, do you remember when I brought the whole family to Texas for just a short visit that ended up being over 2 weeks? And we decided to make over 130 cards to give to all of the ladies in my Relief Society for their birthdays. And Wayne helped us, and Becky helped us, and there was glitter all over everyone.
Glitter sticks to me.
Everywhere. And another fond memory I have is when you offered to watch with me my grandchildren, Diana and Carrie Shane's kids, when they went on a cruise. And they brought the kids to your house, and I flew down to your house, and we babysat them for the week that they were gone, and took them swimming every day and took care of them. And then at the end of that trip, Sid found us a condo in Galveston, and you and I and the kids went down there, and we took the kids to the beach and had a really fun day, 2 days down there in Galveston together. In Anna Green Gables, she talks about how her best friend was her kindred spirit. Marilyn, you are my best friend, and you are my kindred spirit, and I love you.
Some of the fun memories that I have of my sister is first, before she was born, my mom really wanted a little girl. And so when she went to the hospital, so Marilyn was the fourth child. When she went to the hospital to deliver Marilyn, she only took pink clothes. if it had been a boy, they would have come home in pink clothes. I think they were more neutral colors than the ones before that, but Mom loved her boys, but she was excited to possibly have a little girl. So that was exciting. It was fun. Marilyn was quite a bit younger than me, but it was fun to watch her grow up and see the talents that she had, whether singing or dancing, and the things that she did. And one of the things, when I came home from my mission, she had dressed up in a Japanese kimono, and cummerbund was a little bit off, but she had tried, and that was very thoughtful. And I remember how nice it was when her and Sid got married, and the beautiful wedding they had, and the wedding reception. And it's just been fun since that time to watch her family grow, the children, the grandchildren, the in-laws. It's been a real pleasure to have her as my sister.
I had two memories that when I was the first in-law to marry into the family. And one thing that I thought was really, really special was one thing that Phyllis started when she had Marilyn. And I don't know if anybody else remembers this, is that she started, I don't know if it was a notebook, a file, I don't even know where it is now, but I know that she started collecting ideas for a future wedding reception for Marilyn. And I always thought that was so sweet. And that really touched me when I married into the family. Like I said, I don't know what happened to it, but I thought that was really special. And the other memory that I had that I don't even know if Marilyn remembers this. The first summer we got married, I had never really ridden a horse, but I remember taking Marilyn out at the farm. We rode double on the horses a couple of times that summer. And that was always, I think she was about 13. And we did that around the pasture out there by the farmhouse a couple of times. I always marvel at how talented and special and sweet Marilyn is, and has always been throughout her life. And we just love her a whole bunch.
Marilyn, I have some great memories. Starting the mock chicken legs that you put together. The one time we were all together and putting all the meat on the stick and wrapping them in bacon and frying them. It was a lot of work. But they were very delicious. And
Sherry made fun of them for years, and finally 20 years later, she tried making them herself, and we loved them.
So I also I have one of my favorite memories is when we had our girls at the Grand Canyon waiting for everybody to go through, and you were just great. We had a lot of fun together. You were great at coming up with little activities for the girls, and really enjoyed that trip with you. And you're always very welcoming, and you have most gracious smile, and I enjoy being part of your family.
That it?
Yep.
All right. What's so funny? So I remember when we first went to college after I got home from a mission, we were both there together. And one of the first weeks, my clothes were way out of date. And so I took you and all 5 of you roommates went with me, and we went to the mall shopping for clothes. And you all walked into the first store, picked out an outfit, tie and everything. And we walked the rest of the mall, and we came back and we bought that first outfit you all picked. It was exciting. I remember when Sid first realized I wasn't your boyfriend, that changed his life and your life forever. When I came up and, you'd always save me a place because I was clear across campus, or I saved you a place, I don't remember. And I came in and said, "Hey, sis." And he realized I wasn't your boyfriend, but I was your brother. And that changed your life and mine. Loved water skiing. You were a great water skier. You didn't always want to go. I could never understand why, but I loved it when you'd go. Loved snow skiing together. We skied some fun runs. It was always great when you were willing to take the toughest run first, and then everything else was easier for the rest of the day. Of course, who can forget the beet fields? I remember working early in my life with Mom out in the beet fields, and Wayne and Keith, and later when you and I were doing the beet fields, Mom didn't come as often, and so it was just the 2 of us so often. Way different, but we worked well together and stayed together. It was fun. Sunday nights we'd make cookies, or we'd make caramel popcorn. Had some fun family vacations together. Like Sherry said, hiking the Grand Canyon. Couldn't believe when you took David through at 3. But he made it, thanks to Uncle Keith. Just always wanted to be there at family events. Great support these last 4 years. When we've had challenges, I could always call you and you'd support us. And it was great. We love you.
We do love you. You're amazing. We appreciate you, and we've enjoyed a lot of family get-togethers, and you have been a big part of that. And always have a smile, always willing to jump in and include everybody. You're really a wonderful wonderful woman to be around. Thank you so much.
This was a memory that I had, that Phyllis and Harold always shared. The fact that growing up, for the birthday dinners, the kids could always pick what they wanted for their birthday dinner, and the boys would share steak, Keith would share wanted ground lamb, and Marilyn would choose macaroni and cheese. And the boys would never let her live it down why she would choose macaroni and cheese.
My thing that I want to share from my mom isn't necessarily one big memory, but just a compilation of a couple smaller ones. My mom is the kind of person that just is constantly serving everyone around her. I mean, literally just last time we were in town, she just realized I was disappointed I didn't get pumpkin dream pie. So before we left, she made us some and sent us home with it. And that was so, so sweet. And she's always doing things like that, stocking her kitchen with her favorite foods, taking interest in the things that I take interest in, helping me plan parties over the years, and now throwing me a baby shower. And she's ridiculously easy to talk to. They've had probably a million over an hour-long conversations, and it always feels like we could just keep going, but we always have to go run off and do whatever. But we could keep going for a very long time. And the big thing too is, like, I would be in College Station and she would drive an hour and a half, pick me up from work, take me out to lunch, pay for it, and then drive an hour and a half back home. And it's just like, that's the kind of thing, that's just who she is. She's always serving other people and making you feel consistently loved without a doubt, going the extra mile to just make you really feel like you matter to her. And so that's some of my things that I just love about my mom. She's amazing.
Hey Mom, I love you so much, and I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done, but in particular, one of the things that came to my mind was, and it's such a silly little thing, but made such a big deal at the time. When I first had Stella and we'd just gotten home from the hospital, I remember you giving me foot rubs. And I don't know, between the epidural and having, labor and delivery and months of pregnancy, I was just so swollen. And I remember you gave me these amazing foot rubs, and I could finally see my ankles again, and they felt like so heavenly. And it was honestly such a nice, wonderful thing to help ease me into motherhood. And it was such a great gift from you, my mom, to me as a new mom. And I so very much appreciate it. And I just felt like it was a very good representation of you and the service that you like to perform and the love that you have for me. I love you so much, Mom. You are the best mom. Thank you.
Hey, Mom. I was trying to brainstorm and think of a memory that I wanted to share. And what I was thinking of was, honestly, back I was in high school and we were doing cross country, and we would all skip the workout and run home, and you'd make snacks for us, and we watch TV and play video games. And I remember all my friends telling me, wow, your mom is so cool. She lets us come over and she's so nice to all of us. And I just remember thinking, yeah, my mom is awesome. My mom is so cool. And that's something I've always loved about you. Even when I'm doing ridiculous things, skipping my workouts and playing video games, you've always been unbelievably supportive. And whatever I want to do with my life, I can always count on you to be there, to be cheering me on. Speaking of cross country specifically, you were at every single one of my meets. You were always interested in hearing about my progress, about hearing what was important to me, and just constantly rooting for me and helping me to succeed in whatever I wanted to do. The older I gotten, the more I think about how amazing you have been and how much I appreciate your constant support. I love you, Mom. Thanks.
One of my favorite memories of you growing up is when I was working on a Pinewood Derby car. We were doing decals, and I had messed up one of the decals, and I don't exactly remember what happened, but it was on the wheel, and I didn't get frustrated for once. I so often get frustrated at stuff like that. And because I didn't get frustrated with it, you were willing to work on trying to get it to move back into position and look right. And I remember asking you why, and you said, well, it's because you didn't get frustrated at it. If you don't get frustrated, people are much more willing to help. And I'm still not very good at it, but I remember that. And I remember thinking that was a fun little lesson you taught me. And it's just a fun memory I have of you. Anyways, I love you. Merry Christmas.
For Mother's Day, I had this genius idea at like 3 a.m. to take mom on a trip. So we had like, we'd always done stuff in the past, but like my last year before heading up to college, we did a walk down memory lane as kind of like our end of the chapter. But I decided since I was finally home for Mother's Day, thank you, COVID, that I could still take her somewhere and do something on my own. And so I printed off a bunch of pictures of animals and I put them like on the window. I made sure that the aquatic animals were in the like pool window so that you could see that they were in the water. And then all the other animals were just on different window panes. And they were greeted by the lovely Susanna. She was quite the character. She's a gem. She's a gem. Diamond in the rough, as most people say. And she was very gracious towards Miss Marilyn, just so gracious. But she had a hard time with Sid. Did not like him. It's fine. But along came the character of Helga, the refined, whatever accent she had, personality, and quite the opposite from Susanna. And Helga's portion of this zoo weird location area was she was in charge of the planetarium and the art museum. And so she took her on the tour and they had a star show and it was lovely and looking into the night sky and just all around good time. And, you know, Susanna's gone. So anytime that Susanna's not there is a good time for a different reason. And then we went to the art museum with Dustin, the recurring character, because Dustin is refined as well, just like Helga. Okay, you're good to go now. Off you go. And it's just really fun putting all of those like activities together and bringing a smile to her face during these challenging times. And it's kind of one of our like last memories in that house, and it was a good send off. And I just love you so much, Mom, because you're always there. You tell me all the time that like your children are your number one priority, and a lot of moms don't think that, and you were just always there whether I wanted you to be or not. You didn't let me suffer alone. You kept me safe, and I wouldn't be here without you. So I love you, Mom.
Marilyn, I'm going to go down memory lane just a little bit with you and some of the things that we've done throughout the years. Let's start with when we first got married. Remember taking all the family to Hawaii together and spending some time there. I just honestly love that trip because that started off our relationship, got to know your family a lot better. Ala Moana and my back is burned playing skip bow with your brother and Nancy. That was just fun memories and a fun start to our journey. And then I think every year for the first, I don't know how many years, driving to Burley, wherever we're from, and spending time with your parents. But your mom and dad had always made that such a fun experience for us. And dad always had plenty of things for us to do and help raise all of our family. And we spent so much time there in Idaho and all the trips that we've taken to the Grand Canyon. But then as you fast forward, I absolutely loved our trip. You know how I love the cruise, and the cruise was one of my favorite trips going with you and family. And then now, as we spend time together in kind of our golden years, I think just being with you and doing things with you and having the kids come to visit and having our grandchildren, I think it's going to be, I think our best things, best memories are yet to come because I just know how fun the first part of our life has been. And now as we start to enjoy the lives of our family and our kids and our grandchildren, I think we're going to have even more fun memories. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm looking at my little granddaughter Sky, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, what fun memories we're going to build with that little grandchild and all the grandchildren that come into our lives. So thank you for being a great partner and making all these fun memories. And my favorite of all the memories would be Mother's Day. I think that started so long ago, and we kept that tradition for so long. And so just our way of showing appreciation for you, and it's always fun to do that. So I love you very much, honey.
I love you, Marilyn.